Hey everyone! Hello there. This is Kristen Fagan with Softlex Company. New episode of Free Spirit Beading on this lovely Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day to you out there. Hope that you are going to spend it either with your sweetheart or treat yourself as your own sweetheart, right? And do some self-love and self-care today. So we're going to bead. Yay. Hi, Gail. Hi, Lydia. Happy Valentine's Day. We are going to make a beaded piece of jewelry. I haven't decided if it's going to be a necklace or a bracelet yet, so we'll see what happens on today's video. I'm going to be using some of our red and gold dagger beads that are currently on sale and our red coral beading wire. Over at Softlex Company, we're doing 20% off Passionate Red. So we have a curated color category called Red Coral, which is named after our Softlex beading wire red coral color. And everything in that category is 20% off until tomorrow at midnight Pacific time. So you will find in there Softlex red coral beading wire in 10-foot, 30-foot, and 100-foot spools. And it's actually already discounted, and you'll get an extra 20% off when you add it to your cart. So super sweet, extra sweet for this Valentine's Day. You don't have to add any coupon or anything like that. You just add it to your cart and you'll see your extra discount. So that's going on at softlexcompany.com. Everything in our red coral section. I have a few things I'm going to play with today. And I'm also going to show you a little inspiration beads that I gathered that I thought I might play with, and then I changed my mind. I thought maybe you'd like to see that too. When I was going through my bead stash trying to decide what to work on today, I pulled a few things together, and I figured I'd show you what I didn't end up using, and maybe I'll use in a future video. Hey, Brenda. Hi, Patty. Another Lydia. Hello. And Becky is here. Hi, Deborah. Hi, Diane. Happy Valentine's Day. I'm also going to share with you a little sneak peek of the Softlex Company Great Bead Extravaganza project. Let me see if I have the details up in here yet. I don't know if I do. I do have the schedule. So let me just share with you. This weekend is the Great Bead Extravaganza. Expect live demonstrations from your favorite jewelry making artists, giveaways, offers, and more. This all goes down in the Great Bead Extravaganza Facebook group. And there are 14 different companies and artists that participate. This is a little snapshot of the schedule. We have the preview party this Friday night at 5 p.m. Pacific time. And then Saturday, February 19th, 2022, it kicks off at 8:30 a.m. Pacific time with Andrew and William of Allegory Gallery. Goes on till 5 p.m. Pacific at night. And then on Sunday, we come back and we kick off on Sunday, February 20th, 2022 at 8:30 a.m. with Abby from the Bead Place. And again, that goes on till 5 p.m. on Sunday night. So you'll see lots and lots of fun. Sarah and I with Softlex Company, we present on Saturday, February 19th at 1:30 Pacific time. And I'm going to share with you the part that I'm going to be working on. So it's a sneak peek at my design that I made with the Tucson design kit, which we have sold out of. But don't fret, we do have some of these beads going up for sale on the website this week, so that they will be available during the event weekend if you want to purchase some more of a particular bead, or if you missed out on the design kit and you want to grab a few of the beads, you'll be able to do that. Hey, Lydia is new here. Welcome. Happy to have you watching today. Thanks for joining us. All right, so since I have a lot of things to share, we've got me today. Sarah, I believe, is back on Wednesday at 3 p.m. Pacific time on the Softflex Company Facebook and YouTube channel. That's her normal time slot. However, she has been out due to a death in the family, the extended family. So I'm not 100% sure if she will go on as scheduled. But if she doesn't go live on Wednesday, you can catch us at the preview party Friday night, and then, of course, at our presentation this weekend, along with all of the other wonderful presenters in the Great Bead Extravaganza. Okay, so let me turn you down to my table and share with you some inspiration and some things that are on sale. So this is our red garnet ceramic bead barrels. And I was thinking that I would make something with these today, but then I took another direction. So I still wanted to share with you that these gorgeous beads are on sale in that red hot category, 20% off. You get a really long strand, and these are a good size bead. And check out how cute that Buddha from the Lunar New Year, how sweetly that matches the garnet ceramic beads. These are made from the same family. All these little teeny tiny and ceramic beads like this are made from a family in Peru. And these barrels are also made from that same family. So it makes sense that it matches really well. So I thought that would be a wonderful way, if you haven't used your Buddha yet, maybe you want to pair it with some of these garnet colored ceramic beads. The other thing I pulled out is I have this golem bead that I did make a bracelet with, but I thought I'm not 100% sure if it's going to stay in this bracelet. So I had pulled that out, and look at how lovely that works together too. I feel like my camera's a little bit off kilter. I'll fix that in a second. And then lastly, I had this lovely artisan polymer clay bead. I don't know who created this, but it's been in my bead stash for many years. And look at how fabulously that goes with the garnet beads too. And then I had pulled out a few wooden beads, and also these, they're not wood, but, or maybe they are actually, maybe they're painted wood. So this was the design. These items here were things I pulled out, but I didn't end up deciding to work with today, but they were still really pretty. And I wanted to share a few different options that I thought would go great with those barrel beads. This is the red garnet color. So we put this into the sale. However, because it is a item that has like multiple colorways, you can get any of the barrels in that same parent for the discount. So if you want to pick up the garnet, great. If you don't want to pick up the garnet, but you want to pick up one of the other colors in that same parent, you can still get the discount on that. Speaking of red coral, here is a macrame design I did with the Softflex red coral beading wire. And I just always feel like when you do something like this kind of macrame knotting or knitting with the wire, it really shows the vibrant color. So I did this in a video about a year ago. So you can still find this project at Softflex Company's YouTube channel. But I just pulled it out to share with you that gorgeous red coral wire color. Becky loves that color. Yeah, this garnet, oh, you see it like matches my nails. I'm way into this particular tone of red. I love the deep reds, the maroons, those kind of colors. I'm just going to fix my tripod for a second. I feel like it's a little bit off kilter. Okay, so next up, before we get on with the project, I just want to do the sneak peek for the Great Bead Extravaganza. I'm not going to show you the entire kit because we'll save that for the weekend, but I am going to share a macrame project with you. So if you do not have one of those macrame boards, they are highly suggested to use this project. It works really well. You may be able to come up with some other way of doing it, but if you don't have one, you might want to go grab one of those for Saturday's project. All of these beads and wire were in the Tucson design kit. And like I said, you'll be able to purchase some of these beads later. The only difference is I'll be using the button that came with the kit. This is the Starburst button that we sell at softflexcompany.com from our friends over at TierraCast. And it was gorgeous, but I'm going to use the button that came in the kit for the actual design. This was just my little demo. And it has all of the Tucson Southwest vibe, doesn't it? This is done using a square knot. And then we've got some sweet little dangles towards the end. I'll be using 2x2mm crimp tubes, and which were all included in the kit, and the magical crimping pliers. Yeah, it should be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to that. Here are two designs I've done in the past that have a similar, that use the same pattern. So different beads, different wire, same pattern. So you can see how you can change it and adjust it along the way. All right, so that's our sneak peek. Look forward to that on Saturday at 1 p.m. Pacific time in the Great Bead Extravaganza Facebook group. Okay, so now we're on to our project for today. And I'm going to move this one more time. Vicky is asking, will there be more of the TGBE kits for sale at a later time? There will not be. We just made a finite number, and once they were sold out, those are all gone. Like I said, we are going to have bits and pieces available on the Softflex Company website this weekend. So you'll be able to purchase some of the beads, of course, the wire and the crimps and the tools. So you can kind of put your own kit together a little bit that way, but it won't be everything. And we did sell out. We won't have any more available. They do go fast. I think I feel like we launched them about 3 weeks ago. So they do move pretty quickly. So here's some of the beads I'm going to be playing with today. So I've got my red coral Softflex beading wire in my medium diameter, 0.019. And then I'm using these super pretty rondelle hammered beads that you can find at softflexcompany.com. And we sell them in 4 metal tones. This is the white bronze color, or metal. And then we've also got antique brass and gold and copper. Yeah, Vicky, a lot of the kits do sell fast. Everyone does a different amount too. Like, I don't know all the different quantities that the other companies offer. So it is one of those things, if there's someone you really want their kit to get on their email list, and this way when the kit is dropped, you have ample time to get in there. We tend to launch them about 3 weeks to a month before the event. I've got my beads from the Lunar New Year design kit. So those of you that have had that kit, you might recognize these little lantern beads. They came in a strand, and I just cut them up. They have like a little texture and also a little bit of bronzing on them. They fit 2 strands of soft flex medium wire, so they're going to be perfect for my project today. These are some of the other beads that were in the Lunar New Year design kit that I pulled out, these black ones, but I didn't end up using them in my design so far. So as far as I know, I'm not necessarily using them. I've got a few fire polish beads. I had 6 to be exact of these fire polish that have gold on one side and are kind of a clear champagne-y color on the other. These came in the red, green, and gold Christmas mix, check glass Christmas mix that we had introduced at the end of last year. We do still have these available. They have some really pretty beads in here, even if you decide to separate them out and not use the red and green together. But that's where I pulled these out of. And I would say they look like they might be a 6mm fire polish. So here's just a little sampling of some things you'd find in that mix. I love this bead. I think this one's so fun. Can't wait to use that one day. You've got some daggers in here in green with gold speckles. There was also some red ones with gold speckles. This one had some large leaves, rectangles. This is that a similar bead to the one I'm using in a larger size. So the way these check glass mixes work, they're just a big bin, and you get a scoop. It's based on ounces. So you just get a scoop of items. You know, they all come from the same mix, but you may have a different mix of items that show up in your particular bag. And there's some plain large daggers. Actually, I'll hold that out for a second because look, that's the large dagger. And then these are the little minis that we're going to use today. So you can see the difference. So this is the green, gold, and red mix. I just pulled these out of there. Lydia's asking, do you know why they are called fire polish? They are glass, right? They are, yes, they are check glass beads. Fire polish, I believe, is just the cut that they do. So it's like a very, it's always a very faceted bead. So I believe it's the cut. And then a lot of times they do have like one side has a little bit of an AB finish or gold, but that's not always the case. Sometimes it is just a clear bead. But if anyone else has any information, feel free to share it in the comments. Elise, are they mainly red and green? Yes. I would say that this mix is mostly red and green with pops of the golden colors in there. So you'll see you've got some of those golds in there, but most of it is red and green. Hey, Pamich, it's good to see you. I haven't seen you in a while. Glad you made today's show. And then I'm using these super pretty gold and red mini daggers. So these are on our site. We have them in a handful of different colors. We've also got a spinel one if you didn't want all of that gold flash. That's just more of like a spinel red and clear. There's yellow, there's gunmetal, there's lots of different mini dagger colors. But I picked up, I actually didn't have just the all red one in my stash. I had the red and gold. So I said, okay, I'll make that work. But I had this gorgeous heart eye bead from Cynthia over at Green Girl Studios, and I knew I really wanted to work with that. So I was like, how am I going to get these two to play well together? And that's how I brought in those, or why I brought in those silver rondelles, and then also those golden fire polish beads, because I thought it would really kind of tie it together, have little bits of silver, bits of gold, then you've got your red and your black. Let me just show you that bead from Green Girl Studios. You can find their stuff at greengirlstudios.com. You could also find them on Etsy under Cynthia Thornton. And Green Girl Studios is one of our fellow The Great Bead Extravaganza collaborators. So you will definitely be seeing things from them this weekend in the Great Bead Extravaganza Facebook group as well. So I love this heart. It's got this beautiful hammered finish, which goes great with these hammered rondelles. It's got this protective eye on the one side, and then on the back side, it says protect. So really lovely. And that is where we come up with the idea of protect your heart jewelry design. So I've got the protection heart in the center, and then I'm going to use these little mini daggers. I wanted them to be kind of spiky and feel like they are there to offer a little layer of protection. And I don't know which one you're looking at this. Do you like the right side or the left side? There is one small difference. Let's see if you can spot the difference and which one feels better to you. I actually kind of like it a little asymmetrical, but I don't know if I should keep it that way. Hey, Linda. Hi, Penny. Happy to be watching live. Yes, looking forward to the GBE. It's always a big weekend. Linda likes the right side. So if you see, there's a little difference in that on this side, I put the golden fire polish next to the heart, and then I went to the black bead. And on the right side, I just went right to the black bead. Vicky says right side also. Lydia likes the left. Christine likes it how it is now. I know, I do. I kind of like it off kilter too. I'm trying to see. I kind of like it like that. I didn't mean for it to happen. And then when I was looking at it more closely, I was to decide on the left or right. I go, oh, I kind of like it just like that. Let me see. Paula says left. Tasha says left. Joy says left. Jean says right. Okay, so I'm going to put it on my wrist. So if we were looking at it as a bracelet, I haven't decided if I want a bracelet or necklace yet, but if we're looking at it as a bracelet, what do you think? I do think the black kind of brings out the blackened design in the heart. I know they both work, right? It's just kind of like one or picking one or the other, but they both work. All right, I think we've got more for right. Let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4 on the right, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I got 4 on both of them. We need a tiebreaker. We need a tiebreaker. Okay, so while we're working on that, I'm going to cut myself 2 full pieces of beading wire, and I think I'm going to go ahead with a bracelet. I do like how it felt. Christine says, leave it as it is. Leave it one side a little bit different than the other. I'm okay with that. So I'm going to string on 2 strands. So I cut myself 2 strands of wire, about a foot each, just so I have plenty to work with. And then I'll put a bead stopper on one side. And I will take these off so that I can string it onto my actual strand. This was just sort of my little play around and see what happens. Tammy also says leave it as is. All right. Let's make it a little off center. I'll have to see if there's a way for me to add a little more off-centeredness in other parts of the bracelet. So I'm just going to string my heart first on both strands of wire. And then on the right side, I had started with the black. And that also fits on both strands of wire. And then we're going to add these little mini daggers. And let's see, 1. And this was just sort of an arbitrary number. I think I chose 5 for each strand. So this is, you're going to put 5 on one of the red strands and then 5 on another. Christine said, put the extra gold beads somewhere on the right side. Okay. Will do. Tammy agrees. Leave it as is. It was one of those things that was not intended to go that way, but hey, it looked pretty fun once it was there. Sometimes having things be just a little off makes you do a double take, right? And you're like, oh, what's going on there? Oh, that sounds lovely, Lydia. Lydia's off to a lunch, early dinner with her husband. Enjoy. Happy Valentine's Day. I'm looking forward to a concert tonight. My 15-year-old is in a youth symphony group, and they're playing a concert at the Mesa Art Center, which is a beautiful venue. The sound is fantastic there. So I'm looking forward to that. It should be all romantic, classical music. And then when you string on your other black bead, I kind of pull them, kind of pushing them a little close because I want these daggers to kind of bunch up and create these little spikes to protect my heart. And then I'll add in another, oh, not another, I'll add in a rondelle to bring in some of that hammered silver. And then I had one of those gold beads on this side. Now I can either just go with doing some daggers again, or I can add another black one so that there's sort of symmetry. But I don't know, I'm feeling like maybe not, since we're kind of going with let it be a little bit more random. Let's see what it looks like without. Those random designs, sometimes you think, oh, that must be so quick and easy to put together because it's random. But actually, they're sometimes harder because you have to kind of balance things out and make sure that it just makes sense as a whole. Instead of looking at things on the like detail level, you have to look at it on like as a whole. Does this make sense together? Joy Joy loves unique designs. They are pretty fun, aren't they? Kind of depends on the day. Some day my mind is open to trying the unexpected, and other days I just want something that's going to calm me in a way that feels real balanced, symmetrical. Which, thank goodness, we have so many different ways we can create, right? Does anyone else have some plans for this evening that, or today, that you're looking forward to? I'm going to clip this side and flip to the other side, and then I'll come back. I was saying on my video last week, and at first when I found out that Hudson's concert was tonight, I was kind of like, oh, on Valentine's Day, really? And then I thought about it and went, actually, that's really kind of nice, because it is not easy to go out on Valentine's Day. Things are always busy and pricey. They can only have like maybe special Valentine's menus, and then I was like, you know what? Being able to go out and see some beautiful, they do a great job. They really sound awesome. So seeing some beautiful music sounds like a great way to celebrate. Oh, Joy Joy, that's so awesome. She got a wonderful Valentine present. She's going to be a grandmother again. Congratulations. That's fantastic news. Oh, that's the best. That is the best. I'm just hoping for chocolate. Lots of it. Lots and lots of chocolate. Anyone else big time chocolate lovers out there? This is our holiday, isn't it? I like to actually hit the stores after Valentine's Day, get all the deals. My favorites are dark chocolate and with some sea salt or some caramel, or I like things like cherries or orange with my dark chocolate. So what can we do on this side to kind of change it up a little bit? What if I moved to that one first? It's nice that these beads take those 2 strands of beading wire really well. So we've got one of those golden ones here. I've got 2 on this side, so I'll have to add another one somewhere on that side. But yeah, I mean, they're different, but they go, right? You can't really tell right off the bat. Becky says, sometimes I like the look of a necklace looking a little different on one side than the other, but it's hard for me to put things together like that myself. Yeah, I totally hear you on that. That's when it's great to watch a tutorial, especially if it's based on a kit or something where you're like, hey, they did something different that I wouldn't normally think to do. And if you buy that kit and bead along with them, the next time you sit down to bead on your own, that idea may stick, right? And then it'll be something that comes a little bit more easily because you've already done it. So Sarah will be doing a project during our segment too. It won't be just me. We tend to tag team it, which is always fun. But her design is still a surprise. I always have to spend a little bit preparation on mine, and she's much better at just winging it. So she'll be using some new beads we have online for sale. She'll be using some new stuff, and then that's why I usually do the kit, because it's a little more known what's going to be in there. Okay, so let me see how long this is right now before I get too much further. I think I could do one more section on each side of these daggers. So I've already got 2 on that side, so I've got another one I could put here. And then I have one more, so maybe I have moved that to that side. Okay, so I'll do one of these next. One of these rondelles. So what I'm thinking here is I'm just changing the little 3 count. So this one's got the black, the gold, and the silver. This one was the black, the silver, the gold. This one over here was the silver, the black, the gold. And then I'll probably just change it up there too. So there's some slight changes happening in between. I'm using the same beads, but I'm just putting them in slightly different configurations. Cindy says, looks fabulous. Thank you, Cindy. And that it always helps her getting the kits when you have the supply list and sizing for future jewelry projects. That is true. That's one reason why I like to pre-plan some of my stuff, is because I'm not always great on the fly with sizing. And I feel like there's a lot of times where I'll string something and it'll be just slightly too small or just slightly too big, and then I have to do it again. And so when I do things on the fly, I tend to feel like I run into that issue. And then when I pre-plan it, I'm a little more together with what's going on and how much I need of something. Oop, I'm trying to get that on the wrong side. These little daggers are really cute. I've always liked daggers, but I don't do a lot of bead weaving. I know when you do bead weaving, you tend to use daggers a lot. And with stringing, it's sometimes hard to figure out how to kind of get them in the design. But man, are these little ones so cute. I mean, look at those. They're just so cute and tiny. I don't think the larger ones would really, I mean, I guess they would be okay, but they would take over, this focal piece a little bit. Don't you think? Let's end that one there and come back to this side. I decided I'm going to be like watching. Sometimes I don't watch the Great Bead Extravaganza all weekend because, you know, we're preparing and then we do our presentation and then I've got family obligations. So I pop in and out. And but last show, I didn't plan to work the whole weekend and I ended up having to keep popping onto my computer to do this or that. And so this time I decided, you know what? I'm just going to pencil in that I'm going to be around and at my computer and watching everything so that I don't feel like I'm splitting my time, and my family knows that it is what it is this weekend. It's a working weekend. It's a beading weekend. My oldest said to me, "How many of these do you have now?" This is our sixth one. This is our sixth, the Great Bead Extravaganza in, a year and a half, I guess? Because it was a year in November. So it's not even a year and a half. Oh, I forgot to add more beads here. Silly me, but maybe that's okay. It might actually even work in my favor depending on how long this is right now. Yeah, this has gotten a little long, so I think what I'll have to do is just take a little bit off of each side. That's better. I still might remove these. Okay, so now I'm at 7 before my clasp, which is probably going to be just fine for me. Let's put some stoppers on. Oh yes, that's going to be good. I haven't even decided which kind of clasp I'm going to put on here actually, so I might have to just add that later. But hey, look how that turned out. The little pops of red are fun on the around the daggers too. And then you can wear it that way, or you can flip it to the protect side and have it be that way. Really cute. Vicky says, I have attended all of them so far. Everyone is so helpful and I've learned a lot. Yeah. Yes, everyone is super generous with their information and sharing. It's just really, it's really a lovely group. Cindy says, thank you. You folks kept me sane during the COVID. Yes. I mean, that is why we started, right? I mean, that's why we all came together in the first place. And we were like, hey, we need to do something. We're all stuck at home. We all need to bead. And it's just good for your mental health to have a creative outlet and to have something like this going on, right? Well, I'll figure out what kind of clasp I'm going to put on here. I've been really digging buttons lately. So if I do a button, I might change a little bit on the back. But I have a little tiny button that might be good to use. Let me see. Clasp. Okay. So I can always do a lobster claw clasp. Oh, this might be really pretty, actually. I've got one of these hammered magnetic clasps, which are very strong, and you're supposed to slide them to the side. Maybe I'll use that because it won't have a very large footprint either. Yeah, maybe I'll use that one. And it matches really nicely. And then you can use silver or gold crimp tubes depending on what you've got, since we kind of played with either or in this design. Hope says, before I found stoppers, I was crimping and putting a clasp on one end and then constantly restringing. Yes, that is very frustrating. The bead stoppers make such a big difference for me for sizing things out. But I know your pain. I used to do the same thing. And then what's funny is there is stainless steel in Softlex beading wire. It's a stainless steel core, and then it's got color and then nylon on top. So sometimes when you're trying to get into the clasp, you'll notice that the magnet is picking up the wire. So I'm just going to go through one strand with the clasp on it and then go back down. Go back down. There we go. Oh, I pulled it back out. Go back down my crimp tube and make that loop. And then you just want to pull your crimp tighter if you loosened it up like I did. Tighter to your beads. And then pull your loop down. I forget about the magnetic one sometimes. I think it's one of those things that I forget we have them. So that was kind of nice that I saw that today. very helpful for bracelets. Because bracelets can be quite a little tricky thing, can't they? Which is why I've been really having fun with buttons too lately. Oh no! See, it happens. I crush my crimp too sometimes. Let's see if I can, I knew it. I knew I did it. Well, what would I do here? I can use a crimp cover to cover that up because it is secure. It's definitely crimped. It's just not so pretty. So it happens. What size are the magnets? I don't know. Cindy, Damien, do we happen to say the magnet size in our description online? That's a good question. I'm just trimming off my excess wire. And if I decide to do a crimp cover on one side, then it's good to do a crimp cover on the other side too. I'll have to see if I even have any in silver. And then you want to put the other side, the loop, the other side of the clasp onto one strand and back down. Sylvia is asking, what did you do that crushed the crimp tube? Well, I am using magical crimping pliers, and what they do is they take your crimp tube and turn it into a lovely little round bead when they are crimped properly. So like you see here, that one was done with the crimping pliers that I'm using today. It makes this beautiful little round bead. So it takes your tube, turns it into a bead, and there is a little half circle on each side of the tool. So you have to get your crimp right in the center of there when you're crimping, and that was what will give you that nice round bead. But if you slide your crimp off center and hit any of the other points, it's going to more smash it. So I'm going to put my crimp inside. I want to center it right in the center of that notch. Give it a squeeze and then take it out, and you see that I have like four little pinched corners like a ravioli, and then you put it back into that notch at a 90-degree angle. So on its side, squeeze it again, and then you go around a couple times. And if at any point I lose my center and I squeeze on one of these flat portions instead, it's going to crush it. So here is my crimp that turned out beautifully, and here is my crimp that I crushed. So now I can add it is secure, so it's on there okay. It's just not real pretty looking, and it has a little bit of a rough edge. So what you can do then is grab a crimp cover, and normally I don't have to use a crimp cover because it makes this lovely little crimp, but in this case I would use a crimp cover and add it on top, and then it'll clear it out. Oh, Becky says she has to wear a bracelet with the magnetic clasp. I can't wear a lobster or a toggle. I do love a toggle. I have two toggles on right now. I do love me a toggle, but I can say that the lobster clasps are becoming a little bit harder for me, and I'm working on adding like charms to one side so that there's a little bit of a weight distribution that helps me get to that lobster clasp. Paula says, nice to know we all have that oh no moment. Yes, We do. Mine used to come a lot more frequently when I was still practicing. So now but it's one of those things that I felt it. I knew it. I knew it as soon as I did it. Sylvia says, yes, great opportunity to show us how you effectively put a crimp cover on. Oh, I'll give it a try, but crimp covers are not really my friend. And that is why I love that magical crimper. Hope says, to do the second side of the clasp, I cover it with a different color magnet to make it easier to crimp. Magnetic crimps are terrific for older hands. I think she said magnetic clasps are terrific for older hands. Oh, the size of the magnet is not listed. So I apologize. I don't know. I can probably, where's my little, give you an estimate. It looks like the magnet part itself is about 6 millimeters across. And then you have a little bit extra for the width around. So let's see if I can do this crimp cover. Oh boy, you're putting me on the spot. I'm going to try with my chain nose pliers. I know some people do it with a pair of crimping pliers, and that is an option too. Let's see. So I have the crimp cover in my see, that's what I always do. In my chain nose pliers. And I want to hold it. Let's see. I don't know. This might take me a little while. Maybe I should use the crimping technique instead. And you want to slide it over your crimp and then lightly squeeze. And then Sarah has taught me, don't go and squeeze it all the way even, but squeeze one side down and then squeeze the other side over it. And that will give you a nice tight covered crimp. I did it. Pamage says, I find it easier to use my fingers to place the crimp cover. Yeah, that might be. I almost feel like I have to get it on here because it's like as soon as I slide it on, I got to squeeze. Otherwise, I mess it up. But I don't do this often. Becky says, wouldn't a flat nose plier give you more room to hold it? It might. It might give you. I feel like when I go to do the one side and then do the other side, I want it to be a little more tapered and small. But maybe I'm just thinking that, and maybe it would be good with the flat nose. Joy used the crimper to hold the crimp bead. Yeah, I've seen a lot of people do that with the regular blue crimping pliers. So this pair here, this particular pair here, if you look at the top notch, it's more rounded. And if you place the crimp cover in there, you can kind of get that on nicely. But like I said, I do these so infrequently that I don't have a real good technique on how to add a crimp cover because they're not my favorite. Now I'll have to do one on top of this one, even though it looks really pretty, if you want to make it, symmetrical. If it's just for me and doesn't really matter, I might just leave it like that. But if you plan to give this to someone or sell this somewhere, you'd want it to be a little more the same on each side. It is a two-step challenge. So it says, thank you. I was sweating that one a little bit. I'll tell you. That is not my favorite process or my favorite technique. One last thing I want to mention is we added some Sleeping Beauty turquoise to the Softlex Company website last week. This is some of my turquoise. It's the Sleeping Beauty nuggets that I bought the first time I was ever helping out at the Softlex Company booth. They have some really gorgeous Sleeping Beauty, and that's what I have on my ears as well. This particular shape is not something we carry anymore, but we do have some rondelles that we loaded up, and they are priced per carat. So there's like a 2 carat, 2.5, 3, 3.5, 4. I think 4 is the largest one, carat size. So that's the difference when you look at that and you're trying to figure out, well, they all look the same. They are the same, but they're just different carat weights, so they go up in size. And then we also loaded up some pears, I think, and some diamonds. I actually bought the diamonds, the diamond-shaped Sleeping Beauty myself, because Sleeping Beauty is rare, and it's becoming more and more rare because the mine is closed. They were mined here in Globe, Arizona, on a mountain that looks like Sleeping Beauty. That's where the name comes from. And that mine has now been closed since 2012, I think it was. So you'll find that it will get harder and harder to find Sleeping Beauty turquoise. So when they posted them up last week, I said, oh, I have to get myself some more, another little strand to play with, because it's so gorgeous. I just love this color so much. So check those out. All right, everybody, thanks for being here with me today. Happy Valentine's Day. I hope you do something fantastic for your sweetheart, or in addition, also fantastic to yourself, right? So give yourself a little extra loving today. Do something that you enjoy, as well as spoiling your sweetheart. All right, have a wonderful day. I will see you on Friday for the preview, the Great Bead Extravaganza at 5 p.m. Pacific time. And then again, I'll be hanging out with you over in the group all weekend. And Sarah and I will be presenting with Softlex Company on Saturday, February 20th. Let me look. No, February 19th at 1:30 p.m. Pacific time. All right, till next time. I will not be here next Monday because of the weekend, and I'll be in and out all weekend long. I will not be here next Monday, but I will be back the following Monday. Thanks so much. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you all this weekend. Bye.